Hey everybody, it's 2024. If I haven't wished you a happy new year, well, I'm doing so right now, and I'm also looking ahead to a great football tournament coming up right at the start of the year. The AFC Asian Cup, one of two continental competitions, the other being AFCON, which are dominating world football in January 2024. Of course, the AFC version is taking place in Qatar, and I'm really looking forward to this one. It kicks off in a week's time with hosts and defending champions Qatar taking on Lebanon. One of the reasons I'm so excited about this is I spent a lot of time in Qatar last year, 3 trips I think it was, and on one of those trips I was actually on stage in Doha hosting the final draw for this tournament, which on stage with me were the likes of Tim Cahill and Park Ji-sung, and they drew out the names that have produced the tournament, which I'll talk about in just a moment. I'll go through each of the groups and give you an idea of who I think might make it through. But before I do that, I'll give you a quick overview of the favourites. I'll talk about the minnows and who might surprise us, talk about 1 or 2 players there or maybe not there, and then we'll get into, as I said, predicting what might happen in the groups. So let's get straight into this one. First things first, I think it could be a great tournament. The staging of the FIFA World Cup was excellent. The facilities are beautiful, and we're going to see some of those great stadiums in action once again. And they really know how to put on a tournament, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully there'll be some great support, in particular for the Arab teams that will bring lots and lots of atmosphere to this one. And then you have the Japanese supporters who are always fun. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch this one. Now, the other thing I need to talk about is favourites. I mentioned Japan. Well, they have to be. I think they're the best team in Asia right now. They play great football, and they will probably start off, in my mind at least, as favourites. Qatar, as defending champions, well, they had a disappointing FIFA World Cup, and actually, generally speaking, Asia did well, but they struggled a bit there, and well, they will need the likes of the great Amouiz Ali, who had that sensational run in 2019 when they won the last AFC and their first title to really come up trumps once again. Other than that, Korea Republic, can they end decades of hurt by actually using the firepower they have to go and win this thing again? Saudi Arabia making all the headlines with the foreign imports in their domestic league, but what about their own players? Can they produce and win again on the international stage? Iran have always been a powerhouse, but it's a long, long time since we've even seen them in a final of this competition. The Socceroos have to be considered, but I'll start off with a couple of disappointing things, and that is that for the Socceroos, Matthew Leckie, probably the most high profile of a very low profile bunch of players, realistically, in that Socceroos squad. He's going to be missing. He's out of this one, which is a pity. I think they could still win it, given what they've got, but I think he's a loss. Other players to be missing, Eldor Shomurodov, the brilliant Uzbekistan striker who plays in Serie A. He'll be a great loss for them. I'm not sure if Kaoru Mitoma is going to be fit or not. I think he was named in the Japan squad, but he's been missing for Brighton with injury, and I'm not sure we'll be seeing him. I know we won't be seeing Chanatip Songkrasin, the brilliant Thailand playmaker who was injured some time back in qualifying for World Cup and Asian Cup in a game against China. It's such a pity because on his day he's as good as anyone that you'll see in that midfield role. Beautiful player. Right, that's a pity, but there are still plenty of other superstars to look out for at this tournament. And as I go through the groups, then I'll name 1 or 2 of them. Before I get to that, the minnows, the pot 4 teams, it's nice to see the surprises, isn't it? It's nice to see the underdogs have a chance. And with, plenty of the best, I think it's 4 of the best third place finishers going through, it does give them an opportunity. Realistically, I think the ones that might have a chance from pot 4 would be the debutants at this tournament, Tajikistan. I think they've got a bit about them, and they've got a very good coach and a charismatic one in Petar Shegrat, who knows his way around world football. And I think Malaysia, I like what they've been doing recently. I like the way they've blended their team. I like Kim Pang-on, the coach, and what he does with them. So, yeah, I would say those are my 2 tips to maybe make it a little bit further in terms of the minnows of the competition. Right, into Group A right now. And here we go. This is Qatar's group. They should be expected to win this one and go deep into the competition, as I said. It also features Tajikistan, China, and Lebanon. And unfortunately for Tajikistan and China, I don't see top 2 spots going to them. I think Lebanon are good enough to get second spot in this one. But China disappoint consistently on the world stage. Having seen them in qualifying, they're a physical team. They were very physical against Thailand in the game that saw Chanatip get injured. And other than that, Wu Lei is still there. They're outstanding play. He's got some real quality, but not enough about them, I think, to finish above 4th place. So I would have Tajikistan in 3rd and an opportunity for them to progress. Group B is Australia's group. The Socceroos will come into this one playing Uzbekistan, Syria, and India. India, great to see Sunil Chetri in action. Great to see them qualifying again for this competition. But I just don't think they have enough to get anywhere other than fourth place in this group. Margin of victory could be important in determining quite a tight one elsewhere here. I think Uzbekistan, for me, should be able to get the job done. Syria have got Omar Al-Soma and some quality players, so they have a chance second or third, I think, in this group here. Iran are the headline act in Group C. They've got UAE, Palestine, and Hong Kong. Wow, that's a really fascinating group for me. Iran aren't quite what they were. They're still relying on the likes of, I think, Mehdi Taremi and Sada Azmoun. And okay, they'll be good enough. They don't mess up at group stage level in this competition, I don't think. UAE, they're a compelling outfit. And with Paolo Bento in charge, yeah, I like what I see about them. I think some of their form recently has been decent. They've got a great goal scorer. Yeah, I like them. Palestine, Ode Dabag and company are a decent side, and I think they could be a team to watch. Maybe I'll put them into my, sort of slight minnows who could do well. Hong Kong have done brilliantly to make it to this level for the first time in 50 odd years, but I think that's the achievement, just getting there. I think the group's a tough group for Hong Kong. Fourth place for them. Group D, and this one is a tough group as well. Really tough. Japan, well, fine. Okay, they're the best, so not so tough for them. But after that, it gets tricky. Iraq, previous winners and recent Gulf Cup winners, they would have to, I think, on paper, be second place. And that's why it's tough for the other two teams, because Indonesia and Vietnam actually are decent Southeast Asian sides. And in effect, I think they're battling it out for third place. And even though Vietnam have slipped a little bit recently, I'd say probably just on the balance of things, they might be good enough to finish above Indonesia. But it's a tough one. If they can get something out of their Iraq games, they could throw this one wide open. Group E, that's the one that sees Korea Republic. Yeah, I mean, when you've got Son Heung-min and Hwang Hee-chan, who between them have scored 22 Premier League goals this season, I think you've got enough firepower to get through the group and go deep in this competition. Jordan, Malaysia, and Bahrain, the other teams in this one. I think this is why I give Malaysia a bit of a chance, because Jordan, yeah, okay, on their day, they can be decent. Bahrain, maybe they're good enough to come second. Jordan have had no kind of form to speak of. Just checking the notes here. I think the only Asian team they've beaten recently has been the Philippines. So I think Malaysia has a chance to do something. Could be anyone in below Korea Republic in that one. And that takes us to Group F, the final group, and that's the one that has Saudi Arabia in it. Under Mancini here, Saudi Arabia with a lot to prove. I don't see an out-and-out striker, but obviously they have the AFC Player of the Year in Salam El Dossari, so they've got some high quality in that team, and players who must have improved from playing alongside the very best stars in the world in the Saudi Pro League. The other teams in that one are the Kyrgyz Republic, Oman, and Thailand. And, I'd love to see Thailand do well, but the loss of Chanatip is a major blow, and preparations, losing Manu Polking, their coach, sacking Manu Polking, their coach, ahead of the tournament. Bizarre, but we kind of knew it was coming. Lack of preparation, as far as I can see. They had a game against Japan in which they held them and then let in a bunch of goals. I don't think it's ideal preparation for Thailand, to be honest with you, which leaves you then with what happens. Oman and Kyrgyz Republic. I'd say Oman probably in second place, and the Kyrgyz Republic coming third, maybe Thailand fourth in that one, or maybe third if they can get up and deliver the kind of quality that they have on the day. Anyway, those are just a few thoughts ahead of a tournament that promises so much. I'll come back at some point and give you an update once the tournament is up and running. But wherever you're watching this one, make sure you catch a bit of AFC Asian Cup action. It is going to be spectacular, and there's going to be an awful lot for all of us to look forward to. All right. Thanks very much for being with me. Drop a comment in if you're from an Asian nation and you're supporting your team. Let me know how you think you're going to get on. Feel free to like this one, to share this one, and above all else, you can subscribe and spread the word, as it's great to build a community right here. Thanks very much. Enjoy the tournament.